Now, the arrest of the two members of the Economic Fighters League spawned a Free Ernesto hashtag on Twitter, which was trending at #1 and is still there in the top trends. You can see it at #5 at the moment. They two have since been released. According to the police, they have been charged provisionally, but are expected to return another day. Ernesto Yeboah and Abeku Adams have joined us in the studio, as I indicated earlier. Good evening and welcome once again to our studios. Now, tell us about this experience you had in Parliament today and your subsequent arrest. Did you go to Parliament intending to disrupt proceedings? I'll start with you, Ernesto.
Well, thank you very much, Israel, and good evening to you and to your wonderful viewers. Yes, we went to Parliament with the objective to send them a message of protest, and that we publicly did. We announced it and we said we are storming Parliament to show our faces of protest. Well, somewhere along the line...
How do you make it into the public gallery?
Well, I mean, they scanned us. There are 4 security points that we needed to go through. We went through all of it, and we're certified as being harmless citizens, I mean, ordinary citizens who want to partake in the democratic engagement of our nation, because we are young people. So we got there, and now...
so even though you had put out a notice that you were intending to storm Parliament, they still allowed you in?
Yes, they did.
Did you know who?
They didn't. In fact, they turned away many of our people who were... They turned many of them away.
But you made it through?
We made
All
it
right,
through.
so you made it into the public gallery?
Now we get there, and then we realized that the subject matter for which we were storming Parliament did not appear to be on the discussion sheet. But then, along that line, we were like, okay, so let's drop this thing and do it elsewhere. Just before we could get up to leave, Honorable K.T. Hammond, I mean, on the floor of the House, brings up the issue and then says that he does not see MPs sitting, I mean, under trees. So our children should sit under trees, and it's allowed. Our mothers should deliver on the bare floors in our hospitals. Our fathers should die because of the absence of beds in our hospitals, and it's fine.
Was that the provocation?
That was a provocation. Exactly. So that is what got us incensed to send that message to them, that if you are out of touch with the reality on the ground, then we are here to put it to you, that we, the representatives, or we, the power holders of this nation, those who gave you power to come and represent us, are telling you that drop that chamber. I think it's important that young people all over understand that they have a significant role to play in the affairs of our state. We should not leave our future to these old men and women who do not give a hoot about us. In almost every decision that they are taking, you could see the selfishness, the blatant disregard. They are running a non-accountable democracy, a fake democracy, which then gets us, I mean, as citizens to be concerned enough that no, I mean, something ought to be done. So this is what we are telling all young people in the country. We should not sit down and allow our leaders to
Abeku Adams, you were also in the chamber. Did you mull over the consequences of the action?
Yes, I did. And I actually came all the way from the Kofi Central region purposely for this today. So it's not like...
Were you intending to come make noise in Parliament to be arrested and manhandled the way you were?
I intended to come to send a message, to represent the protests among the populace. I mean, what we did there was just a replication of the general public disagreement with what, or disapproval of what they intend doing, which we think is actually a complete disregard for the real situations of the Ghanaian citizens. It's insensitive on their part to even consider building a new parliament for themselves when what we have was recently renovated. You understand? And there are serious social... Democracy is not for the ruling elite. It's for the people.
Let's move on to your arrests. the police moved in, you yelled out, dropped that chamber, and then what happens next?
Well, I was surprised at how the security at Parliament handled us, especially given the fact that we were cooperating fully with them. When they sought to take us out, we did not resist. In fact, when they sought to...
Well, there was one resistance at the door, probably was you.
It seemed like. But when they picked out Ernesto and they were coming to me, I said, look, I asked, well, let me pick my bag. So I was willing to walk out, you understand? But then they turned the whole thing into a scuffle, tore my suits, as you can see.
Oh, wow.
And I mean...
That's a goner.
The hooks,
destroyed the
my trousers, everything went off, my buttons.
Let me see that again, the back of your suit.
Okay. And this was deliberate. And I saw the woman trying to tear mine.
I was surprised the women were
Let's keep that out so the
cameras can see.
And I was surprised the women were the most aggressive of the security personnel there.
Okay. And it's not the case that I
wasn't resisting.
You deliberately...
They actually lifted me off the ground.
Just for dramatic purposes.
One leg was off the ground, so I was kind of not on my feet, 2 feet. So I wasn't resisting. There was no way I could have resisted. I wanted to move out.
And it was,
you could tell. I mean, see the cuts here, and then
there's a bit of swelling I see on your arm there.
And I was dropped on the ground on the hard floor outside. So I have this pain running down my spine at the moment.
But have you been to the hospital then?
We asked the police to give us medical form. They didn't treat it as an urgent issue.
They didn't.
But have you nonetheless been to the hospital?
No, from here we left the police station. We came here, so eventually we have to do that.
So you went to the police station, and what did they charge you with? What are your charges?
Offensive conduct under Section 207 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act 30, which says that we threatened, used abusive language, and projected other conduct or words that sought to encourage the breaching of the peace of the public. Well, that would be the decision of the court to decide. But interpretation of what happened, whether it was really the case. So we didn't want to go into that much. Yeah.
What were your bail terms, if you have been bailed at all, or they just let you out?
We're supposed to report to the ministry's police station on Monday at
So there wasn't need to bail you, did they just let you go?
They bailed us. We're bailed.
So 2,000 for each.
But I didn't.
I overheard the police officer. I didn't see it. It's 2,000 for each of us.
What do you think you have achieved with this?
Well, I think a strong message has been sent to them that especially young people in this country are no longer going to sit down and allow them to run the nation to the ground. A new movement has, begun, where you would see that many of us are no longer willing to go back to sleep. If it has to take days and nights of protest to ensure that that simple message is sent to them, that we are the wielders of power in this country. So we are very clear in our minds what is happening. Some have sought to misinterpret our action as indiscipline and all of that. But yes, all changes that has really, or significant changes that has taken place across the world was through civil disobedience. And that's precisely... absolutely. And that's precisely what we are doing. So they can call us indisciplined, they can call us hooligans, but we know we have the nation at heart.
Right. Parliament has indicated, the majority leader at least has been talking about the fact that they haven't quite firmed up the decision to build this complex. Would you be okay if they decided that they're not going to go ahead with it anymore?
I would be okay if they decided to go ahead, because that's the whole purpose for which we are here. We went there today. But then as to regarding that they had planned not to go ahead with it, that's something we're yet to see.
But Ernesto, from what I hear from you, it sounds like you want something more.
Oh,
we are simply not convinced by
this part of a bigger picture. This is not the ultimate.
What would be the ultimate?
It's like war. War has different battles. You understand? So we are looking for the economic dignity of this country. We're looking for a situation where civil consciousness will drive the agenda of the day, not political affiliations, where people, citizens of this country, will wake up and realize that no, I'm part of a nation, and I must be responsible because I'm getting this from the nation. As it stands now, this is a country that eats its young people. Yeah. It feeds on the strength, it feeds on the energy, it feeds on the aspirations, the dreams and the visions of the young people. It doesn't nurture us into greatness. The upward mobility is non-existent. There's a kind of a monopoly that the old guard has established on our resources and opportunities in this country. And that's what we are seeking to break.
All right. What next for your campaign, Ernesto?
Well, let's say that this was just part one. And
what will be part two?
Well, let's understand that they are the drummers. So long as they continue to play the drum, we the people will continue to dance to it. Yeah. And we would be doing it proportionally at a graduated level. So we are hoping that they drop that idea of building that chamber. Otherwise, on 13th of July, we are seeking to mobilize 2 million Ghanaians in a protest against the building of that chamber. Of course, if they still decide to go ahead, then we would graduate it to the next level. And they haven't seen the full story yet.
All right, thank you very much. Ernesto Yeboah and Abeku Adams, they are with the Economic Fighters League. And earlier today, they staged a protest in Parliament. They were arrested, but have subsequently been released. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking you.